Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of the Learn and Trade with Popeye. Today, I'm following up on some of the requests I received for the new educational video, and one of the requests was how to make a weekly plan, a weekly trading plan. So we'll try to see how to form a bias, how to create a watch list, what to look in the economic event calendar, and so on, just to give you a general idea on how to develop a proper trading weekly plan. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and a like, and a big shout out to ZoomX for sponsoring the video. Make sure to join ZoomX using my referral link in the description below. ZoomX is a super cool exchange, non KYC, so you can trade just by using an email address without providing any personal information. If you join with my link, you will also be eligible to join some very cool campaign and giveaways we run with the ZoomX team. But without further ado, let's move to some chart and try to make the reasoning of the on how to make a weekly plan. So the first thing you need to develop a plan is to try to form some bias. And usually the best way to form a bias is to use high time frame market structure or support or resistance level. And to form a bias generally in the crypto market, we always start from the alpha asset that is Bitcoin. So there is plenty way to form a bias, but to make it straightforward, you have to consider two important issues. One is the market structure. So you try to look the daily market structure. Now here, historically starting from very far away, here there was a bullish market structure. Here the market structure started to go sideways or downtrend. Similarly, here going sideways, going down. Here finally again moving higher and moving higher. So this will give you a general idea of the market structure and the bias you want to develop for the coming week. The second part is the support and resistance level. So you know that despite the market structure, price is affected by historical and important support and resistance level. So like in this case, the year started to be a resistance level. So if you were developing your weekly plan somewhere here, you would have said, okay, structure turned bearishly. Here there is a resistance. Should Bitcoin price reach this level, I'm looking for short exposure. Controversially, you know that potentially here there is a support level. So you would say, should Bitcoin reach this level, I will flip my bias to long to look for a bounce. So consider and put in your journal, in your thinking process, this concept. Same was applying here where there was a support. So instead of market structure, you are using support here and expect price bouncing whenever we reach this. In that case was 90K level, developing a bearish bias should we reach this resistance again, and then finally here there was a support again to help you to define your weekly bias, and here that we broke in price discovery again, developing a bias for the week to come. So this is the first approach you have on the daily chart. Then you can further map level on the 4-hour, as I was saying, to help you for the week. So let's say you were developing your plan somewhere here, so you know that here there was a support level, and you would develop a plan to say, okay, should Bitcoin reach again this support level, I will look for long exposure. The other two important chart in case when you want to develop your plan are BTC dominance, especially for altcoin. So in case you want to rotate your exposure from Bitcoin to altcoin, and you know more or less that the dominance chart has been up only for many months now. So you can have many strategy, but like this meme trend line was working for a while, so you could have developed some sort of bias to say every time Bitcoin reach the upper level of this level, I would switch from Bitcoin to altcoin, and controversially, every time that Bitcoin would reach the lower band of this chart, I would move again from altcoin to Bitcoin because dominance could potentially bounce. Further, you could say, should we break down from this long uptrend, my bias would be alt season, would be rotation to more risky asset like altcoin. So my interest to Bitcoin would finish, and I would move to altcoin only. But to have an understanding of what the Bitcoin chart is doing. The third chart to give you a general understanding of what the market is doing and the bias you want to form is the USDT dominance, so stablecoin, one of the stablecoin dominance, and again, same exact concept. When USDT reaching resistance, you might expect a rotation back to crypto asset, Bitcoin on the other. Whenever Bitcoin dominance is reaching support, again, the opposite. Perhaps you can get a bounce in dominance, in stablecoin dominance, and rotate back and looking more for short in the crypto market. So to have a little bit an understanding of these two charts. The last is total 2. You can either use total 2 or total 3. But total 2 is the main altcoin excluding Bitcoin. So this is including also Ethereum, and again, the concept is always the same. Some of these charts are simply inverted to the one before. So you have support, you have a resistance level, you have structure, and you know that if total 2 is reaching, like it's doing now, a resistance level, you might start to take profit or look for short on altcoin. Should this level be broken, moving on all-time high and price discovery, again, you can be more risk on risky asset like altcoin. So just to have in mind these four charts: Bitcoin, USDT dominance, Bitcoin dominance, and the total 2 chart. Then you can use total 3 and many other charts, but this just to give you a general understanding of being more risky to some asset or less risky to some other asset. The other part you have to check when you want to start to do the weekly plan is to check for economic events for the week to come. This is trading economics. You can filter for countries or category, whatever you want, but mainly we focus on the main event on the US economy and we look what is happening. For example, this week, today, Tuesday 22, now that I'm recording the video, at 3:30 p.m., we do have Powell speech that can create some low time frame volatility. So to be aware of what is happening during the coming week and to expect some volatility during this day and position accordingly. So if you are a volatility trader, perhaps you want to see if you get some weeks that fill your entry, or if you are more a swing trader, you try to stay away from that days because you get a lot of low time frame volatility that might endanger your trading. So we are forming a bias. We are ready to understand more or less what we want to do, but mainly what we want to see on the market, and we map level of interest. Now Bitcoin is in price discovery, so perhaps it's not super simple, but let's say that we are trading somewhere within these boundaries of support and resistance, and you are making your plan somewhere in the middle of this range, then you don't know if the price will go up or you will go down. So simply you are preparing and mapping levels and saying, okay, when we reach 109, I will look for shorts. Whenever we are reaching 100K, more or less, I will look more for longs. You can develop something similar on lower time frame range like the one we are having here, and you can clearly see that Bitcoin now in the last few days is trapped here. So you can say, okay, as long as we are in this range, I will focus on altcoin because market looks very strong, and Bitcoin going sideways probably is giving altcoin room to breathe and will move higher. I will develop a bullish bias in case we see something in Bitcoin like a deviation or a tap on this little consolidation level or whatever, and you have developed your plan for longs. You can also say that whenever Bitcoin reach again this resistance, you will take profit or you will look for short. So mainly on the wiki plan, you don't really, let's say, make exactly a plan, but you map level, you set alarms on levels that you are interested to see the reaction for developing a decision on positioning. This is generally on Bitcoin and the other chart I have explained. The second part you have to check before moving, let's say, to placing orders or planning trades is to double check your risk exposures on the market. This is something you should never forget. So if you are starting a new week, you have to check how many positions you have open on the market, see how much risk you have on the market, and plan the new week accordingly. So if your max tolerance is, I don't know, 2%, 5% on the market, if you already have position open and if those stop loss of this position is triggered, you are losing 2% and your mark tolerance is 5%, you know that you either close, move, stop loss at break even on this position, or you will need to make a calculation of how much risk you will have in the coming week. What you should not do is every week expose yourself more without ever taking profit, without moving stop loss at break even, increasing week by week your risk exposure to the market until you got a very strong liquidation event, and instead of losing 5% of your account, you lose 20, 30, 50% of your account. So you have to be aware once you enter in a new week, what is your risk situation on the market. To make it using very simple word, so what would happen if all your stop loss would trigger at once, how bad it would affect your portfolio. So adjust it and prepare the new week accordingly. For example, if you are already long a few positions, you are happy, your plan for your week will just sit tight and watch the market moving. Do not open new position because you don't have any risk to allocate to the market. Once you have done all these, let's say, preliminary consideration that allows you to understand your potential bias, you have mapped level of interest in the macro chart, Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, total 2, and you have checked also the economic calendar, you are ready to check the rest of the market. There are few ways to check the rest of the market. The way I do it more quickly is the way that Trader Mercury, my mentor, is using and has taught me. So perhaps he has much better content to explain the system, but it's simply scanning the market using as much as possible naked chart. This is not it's just a watch list I use for the stream, so probably not all the chart will be naked, and using the 4-hour EMA, and you can add also the exponential moving average and the moving average, and to look for potential strength and weakness in the market. Why you do so? Because you want to create a watch list that allow you to trade the market both ways. So the point of screening the market is to select asset that, in case your level for longs are triggered, you have some coin already selected that you believe are stronger than others that you are willing to long. On the other end, if your levels and triggers for shorter triggers, you want to have a watch list for potential short opportunity. So there are many ways to do so. For the sake of the video and to keep it simple, one of the easiest way, once again, is to use the moving average, in this case the 200 exponential moving average. on the 4-hour time frame, basically because I'm more of a swing trader. So you can go in lower time frame, but it doesn't really make sense for a weekly plan. So a weekly plan is something you do more for looking for swing entry. You see that in Bitcoin, we are trading well above the 4-hour EMA. You see that the 4-hour EMA is potentially becoming confluent with the former support and resistance level at this level. So this already gives you a potential level of interest in case this moving average is tested again for a move high, something like this. But what we do now we start to scan the watch list. You can find on internet even all the all the exchange coin, like there are I don't know, the Bybit watch list. You can import it automatically on TradingView and you will get all the coin, or you can manually import, I don't know, the top 100 coin to have it in the watch list. Again, this is a shorted watch list just for the sake of the video. We see, for example, we start to check, we see that Binance coin is a strong coin, is moving above an interesting level. We can see here that we flipped a local resistance, more or less at this level. So Binance coin looks strong, looks breaking out, is a coin that we can flag. In my case, green means on the long list. This could be potentially a level of interest. Again, not making TA of all this coin, just to make it simple. If we get a dip, you know that Binance is in green, that you are looking for this level for a resistance flipper retest setup, and you want to trade it. Again, I'll try to make it short, not to analyze each single chart. You move on all your now the market is very strong, so probably will be difficult to find short, but for example, contrary to the other, you can see that Tau big tensor is still below this resistance level, so potentially you can say the other coin have already broken resistance and are trading above. Tau has not, so is potentially for me a weaker coin, so is in my short list. In case we get a spike above, my bias will flip bearish, so I would look to short Tau or bit sensor, because you see clearly the difference with BNB trading above this resistance in this bullish fashion, and Tau looks comparatively weaker than the other. So you go, you move, I don't know, you see hype, you know that hype is in price discovery, again, very strong coin, probably will end up in your green coin, so stronger coin. You have here a confluence of the former all-time high level. The 4-hour trend is here, so you might say if we get a dip and hype hold this level and the 4-hour EMA, for me is a long, so is a green coin. Controversially, no, I have no idea what I can show you. For example, I saw today Aave. You will see that Aave is trending above the 4-hour EMA as most of the market now, because everything looks extremely bullish, but we have potential a deviation here happening. I posted the chart earlier today. This perhaps for you is a weakening signal, as you can see here, warning next to us, but that is the side effect of living in a bot. You can see that comparing to the other coin, Aave is breaking structure and having this sort of deviation above this high, so potentially for your strategy this is a sign of weakness. So you would say, okay, if we get a bounce, I want to short Aave lower, because differently than the others has been rejected as resistant and is breaking structure bearishly. So you will put Aave in the Aave's here on the red list. So we'll not check all of them to keep the video short, but again, you map all your level The other thing I do is, for example, to mark in blue all the coin that I have trade open, and in case during this process I set some bids for long or for short, I usually mark it in yellow. So at the end, you will have a watch list that will show you strong coin in green, weak coin in red. So means the green are interesting for long, the red are interesting for short. The blue coin are coin that you are already trading. Now I'm making color just as an example, and yellow color are coin that you are not just monitoring, but you have left bits. So you can check weekly all the interesting coin you have without scrolling again or your timeline, and develop a plan according to what we. This is the platform of ZoomX. It's super simple and direct. You can basically do everything you do in the major exchange. It has the liquidity of Bybit, but it's a non-KYC exchange. So you can join it using the referral link in the description below, just with an email address, without providing any personal information. And you can enjoy a 20% discount on fees using my link, and be eligible for the campaign we regularly run with the team. So I highly recommend it, and make sure to join immediately ZoomX using my link. So, for the sake of keeping the video short and simple, just a quick summary. So, first of all, for the week to come, you have to form a bias. A bias is not to be retarded, I'm bullish, I'm bearish. A bias can be more complex. So I have levels of interest. I know that market structure is, for example, bullish. Entire moment to show strength or weakness. It's important to be aware what you want to see when these levels are reached and formed. Also remember that you can have multiple bias, so you can have a high time frame bullish bias, but also you can have a bearish low time frame bias. So you can be swing long a position because on the daily the structure is bullish, but you can take a scalp short on the 1 hour, on the 15 minutes, because price is fractal and according to the time frame is moving differently. So create a bias with a deep understanding of Bitcoin. The mistake that many people is doing is not understanding that Bitcoin is the alpha asset and is mandatory to understand what Bitcoin is doing or what is the consequence of altcoin. Sometimes, like right now, Bitcoin going sideways is giving you simply one message. Bitcoin is cooling off, market is very hot, so risk is more on other crypto assets because they are more risky and people is rotating from Bitcoin to them. Check the Bitcoin dominance chart again to understand where the dominance is moving, and if your focus should be more on Bitcoin or more in altcoins. Check the stablecoin dominance that gives you a general understanding of where investors are moving. They keep more stables or they are locate more in the crypto market in general, and check total 2 and total 3 to understand a little bit where the altcoin markets, especially for the majors, is reaching resistance, support, structure, and so on. Double check the economic calendar to see if in some days there will be volatility. Again, your decision to trade or not to trade volatility, but you have to be aware that if you are opening today a position at 3:30, you are opening a position in a max low time frame volatility moment, because as we saw before, there is the Fed Chair Powell speaking. So you have to be aware in case you just go to drink a cocktail and come back once the low time frame volatility is done. Once you are ready with all of this, you have to double check your risk tolerance. This I will never stop to repeat it. Make sure that you are always respecting your risk tolerance. So make sure to double check all your opening position, adjust it accordingly, take profit, move stop losses, break even before moving or opening new orders or planning new trade. in case this new trade will create trouble with your risk tolerance, because whatever the bias you can make, whatever your plan is for the week, remember that it can be wrong. Actually, you have to always start with the assumption that your plan is wrong, and always be ready for the worst case scenario. So never lower your guard. Once you are ready with all of this, you start to scan the market. I gave you a very simple example with the 4-hour EMA. Now the market is very strong. They are all above. You will find situation where not necessarily all are above. So immediately the 4-hour EMA will show you what is strong, what is weak. But the point of the scanning the market is to select levels, support, resistance, and structure, see what is trading strong and whatever is trading weak, whatever is reaching resistance or whatever is reaching support, whatever has broken already resistance and trading above, and whatever is still below resistance. Once you created your watch list, try to select not many coins, like 5 or 10 that are interested. Using the flagging system, you can make it red or green, and it will give you the interest for short or for long. And remember also to set, in case you have a coin that are already with open trade, so you can quickly find them, and to also flag with another color the active orders you have on the books, because you will know perhaps if there will be a dump, if your order has been filled, what is the reaction on that specific coin. I think is everything. Let's say making a weekly plan is a little bit a complex topic. Make sure to watch another video that I made that is to create a bulletproof routine, where I quickly speak about weekly plan, but I also speak about monthly plan and daily plan and trading plan. So weekly plan, let's say, is one of the topics inside that wider video. I think it's everything for today. As always, make sure to drop me a question in case it's not clear. I can also make a version 2 more advanced in case there is interest on how to make a weekly plan. Remember to trade with me in ZoomX using the referral link on the description below. And remember to leave a comment and a like, and to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my YouTube content. As always, stay safe out there. We'll see you in the next video, and take care. Bye.